You're lying in the dark, and something brushes the bottom of your foot. Every nerve fires at once. Your leg jerks back before you even think about moving it. Was it a spider, a snake, another person's hand reaching for you in the night? Your body doesn't wait to find out. That ticklish jolt might have saved your ancestor's life 1,000 times over. Now try doing that exact same thing to yourself. Nothing happens, and the reason why is one of the strangest things your brain does. Ticklishness is ancient, far older than language, older than fire, older than stone tools. It shows up in rats. It shows up in great apes. Even juvenile gorillas make a sound researchers describe as unmistakably laughter. That tells us something important. This response was hardwired long before we were human. We're talking at least 75 million years of evolutionary pressure shaping this one reflex. Whatever ticklishness does, evolution thought it was worth keeping for a very long time. So, what was it for? Think about what the most ticklish parts of your body have in common. Your neck, your armpits, the sides of your ribs, the soles of your feet. Every single one is a vulnerable zone. Soft tissue, major arteries, exposed joints. Notice where ticklishness doesn't show up. Your shins, your forehead, your kneecaps. The places armored by bone don't need a hair trigger alarm. These are the places where a parasite lands, where a predator bites first. Ticklishness was your body's early warning system for danger you couldn't see. A light, unexpected touch at any of those points triggered an involuntary flinch. You didn't need to know what it was, you just needed to move. That reflex kept you alive. Today, the deadliest thing on your foot is probably a sock crease, but your nervous system never got that memo. The alarm still works perfectly, which brings us back to the real mystery. If ticklishness is a threat detector, why can't you set it off yourself? Why does your brain care who's doing the touching? The answer is hiding inside a prediction engine you've been running your whole life. And it reveals something unsettling about how much of your experience your brain simply invents. Deep inside your brain sits a structure called the cerebellum. It's tucked behind your brainstem, wrinkled like a tiny cauliflower. For a long time, scientists thought it mostly handled balance and coordination. They were missing its strangest job. The cerebellum runs predictions, and thousands of them every second. Every time you decide to move your body, it calculates what that movement should feel like. Think of it as a spoiler generator for your own senses. You reach for a coffee mug, and before your fingers even touch it, your brain already knows what the ceramic will feel like. The warmth, the smooth glaze, the weight. When the real sensation arrives and matches the prediction, your brain turns down the volume. It mutes the feeling because it already expected it. This is called sensory attenuation, and it happens constantly without you noticing. It's the reason you can't hear your own footsteps the way other people hear them. Your brain predicted each step, so it turned the sound down before it arrived. Right now, you probably can't feel the fabric of your shirt against your shoulders, but now that I mentioned it, you can. Your brain had predicted that sensation and quietly canceled it until I drew your attention back. This is the same system that kills self-tickling. When you drag your own finger across the sole of your foot, your cerebellum knows exactly what's coming. It predicted the pressure, the speed, the path, the texture, everything. So it cancels the alarm. No surprise, no threat, no tickle. But when someone else touches you, the prediction fails. Your cerebellum doesn't control their fingers. It can't forecast someone else's timing, pressure, or direction. So the sensory signal comes through raw, unfiltered, and at full volume. And your body does the only thing it knows how to do. It reacts. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Researchers at University College London built a machine that tickled people with a robotic arm. When subjects controlled the arm themselves, pressing a button to trigger the touch, no tickle. But when the machine added a tiny delay, just 200 milliseconds, ticklishness came roaring back. 1/5 of a second was enough to break the prediction. That gap is shorter than a blink, yet it's all your cerebellum needs to lose certainty about what's happening. Your brain is so precise in its forecasting that any deviation at all restores the full tickle response. That's not a bug. That's terrifyingly exact engineering. So Here you are in the modern world, carrying around a threat detection system from the Pleistocene. There are no scorpions in your bed, there are no parasites dropping from the canopy onto your neck, but brush a feather across someone's foot and they'll kick you in the face. The response is wildly disproportionate to the actual danger, right? Which is zero. And yet you cannot override it. You can't think your way out of it or will it away, because it was never designed to be optional. An ancestor who could voluntarily suppress the flinch was an ancestor who got bitten. The ones who couldn't turn it off are the ones who survived. You inherited their inability to stay calm, and that's the point. Here's where it gets stranger. Tickling plays a second role nobody expected. Watch any parent tickle a toddler and you'll see something that looks a lot like combat training. The child squirms, blocks, rolls away, tries to protect their vulnerable zones. They're learning defensive movement through play and laughing while they do it. The laughter is the reward signal that keeps them coming back for more training. Those rats researchers tickled in the lab, they came back for more. They'd chase the researcher's hand around the cage and they emitted ultrasonic chirps, frequencies researchers had to use special equipment to hear. Rat laughter. Stressed rats, though, didn't chirp at all. They just froze. Ticklishness requires a feeling of safety, even in rodents. Yeah, so tickling is simultaneously a threat alarm and a social bonding game. And the one thing that separates those two functions is whether you can predict the touch. Your own touch is always predicted, so it's always canceled, so it's never ticklish. Someone else's touch is unpredictable, so the signal stays live and your body responds as if it might be danger. This tells us something uncomfortable about the brain you live inside. You don't experience the world as it is. You experience your brain's best guess about the world, minus everything it already expected. Most of what you feel, hear, and see has been edited before it reaches your awareness. The tickle you can't give yourself is just the most obvious proof. Your brain is constantly running a simulation of what should happen next. When reality matches the simulation, it barely registers. When reality breaks from the simulation, that's when you actually feel something. Surprise is the price of admission to your own sensory experience. This is why a lover's unexpected touch on the back of your neck sends electricity through you, and why your own hand touching the same spot feels like nothing at all. Your brain doesn't waste resources confirming what it already knows. It only pays full attention to what it didn't see coming. In a way, you are most alive in the moments your brain is most wrong. People with certain forms of schizophrenia can tickle themselves. Their prediction system is impaired. The cerebellum fails to cancel self-generated signals. Their own touch arrives as if it's coming from a stranger, which means they can tickle themselves, but they may also hear their own thoughts as outside voices. The same prediction failure that enables one also allows the other. The ability to know what's you, that's not a small thing. It's the invisible boundary between self and world, and your inability to tickle yourself is its constant, quiet proof. Every time you try and fail to tickle yourself, your brain is whispering something back to you. I already know you. You can't fool me. You're not a stranger. And honestly, that might be the most comforting thing a brain can say. Your brain knows you better than you'll ever know it. Sleep well.